Hello, welcome to another episode of the Just Some Magic podcast. I am your host, Morgan, and here on Just Some Magic, we like to share people's most magical moments in the theme parks. Today, I don't have but one, I have two guests, and they are from an incredible podcast. Today, we have Rick and Gina. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
This
And
is our
would you
first
like
time on another podcast. I'm so excited.
Yeah, glad to be here.
It's fun to not have to be the one doing the intro.
Oh my god, I will tell you, I first off, I didn't know that. Oh, I'm so
Mhm.
honored. And second, it's so nice. It's almost like a little vacation because, like, we'll ask you questions and it's like, oh, you already kind of have an idea of in the back of your mind and stuff compared to when you're the one asking it and people don't know. So, oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. But would you like to share a little bit about your podcast?
Yeah, so our podcast is called Spill the D. It is actually the official podcast of 407 and Beyond Vacation Co. That's new within the last year, which was really exciting for us.
Oh,
But it really
congratulations.
was just started as two 20-something-year-olds view on all things Disney. So the perspective of young adults in Walt Disney World.
Those childless millennials, those darn childless millennials.
Taking all the pretzels.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And you said you got sponsored in the last year, but how long have you been doing the podcast?
Podcast has been about 2 years now. Rick's pretty new to it. I did start it with a friend of mine who had to take a step back, and Rick stepped up probably about a month or 2 ago
I would
now,
say,
and
yeah.
yeah, and has joined me on it. He was a guest a few times before that, but in about the
Mhm.
last 2 months, he's become the official co-host.
Wonderful, wonderful. And y'all are dating?
We are engaged. I'm sorry, you can
Oh!
answer something
That's okay.
eventually.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and was the proposal Disney or theme park themed, or was it outside and for separate? Yeah, yeah, sure, sure,
I
sure.
think we'll get into that a little bit more once we get to our magical moment.
Oh, okay. So that might be the little teaser to y'all's magical moment. Okay, I'm even more
Mhm.
excited. And also from an artist perspective, I love your podcast logo. It's so cute with the teacups from Alice in Wonderland and then I didn't notice this at first, but it has like a G in it for Gina and then
Mhm.
what was it was an S, was that the original co-host in it?
Yeah, so it's so funny you said that. I was talking to our graphic designer this morning, and there will be an R put in it probably by the time this episode airs, if I had to guess.
Okay.
So it's gonna be updated to that.
Oh, fantastic. It's so cute and it's like spill the tea, but spill the D with Disney and stuff. And are you guys limited to just Disney or is it kind of universal, all theme parks or just strictly Disney focused?
So we've done mainly Disney. We have had Universal episodes. The majority is definitely more Disney, though. Universal episodes have been recap episodes where we went to Disney and Universal in a trip, as
Oh.
well as the vacation company that we work with actually had a few vacation planners sent to Universal for a training. So they were
Mhm.
able to come back and do like a full Universal 101 with us. So we were able, that was our first ever fully Universal podcast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'll have to go back and listen to that episode. I love when people do talk about Universal and the other theme parks because they don't get as much love as, Disney's been around for years and the nostalgia, especially, 20s, growing
Mhm.
up in the 90s. We just have that nostalgia. So that totally makes sense. And so are you guys out of state? Are you in Florida? Where are you guys located?
We're in Pennsylvania, so a
Not
little bit
close.
farther north.
But it's so weird. We're in Florida all the time.
It feels like we
Yeah.
live there.
There you go. There you But how often are you guys able to get to Orlando? I know you go to a vacation company, so they probably do all the hard stuff and the
Yeah.
planning for you, and you just got to give them the money to get down there, right?
Yeah, so I actually just got back 2 days ago. We probably
Oh,
go I was just joking about this, that there will be years that I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm only going to Disney one time," and then by December, we're up to, like, 5 or 6.
I think we went like 4 last year.
Yeah, last year was a low one for us.
oh no! Oh my
So,
gosh! But
yeah, this year we have 3 planned, like, 3 trips. We've already done 2 of them, but I feel like it's gonna end up being more. There always is. The only thing that might hold us back from there being more would be our wedding.
Yeah.
gotcha, gotcha. And then we'll touch on that later. But
Yeah.
that is so cool. And so, do you guys typically fly, or do you ever drive down there? Because that's going to be a hike.
We've done the drive one time.
Mhm.
That was in 2018. It wasn't that bad. There was 4 of us who took turns driving.
Speak for yourself.
Ah.
Rick got the through the night part, and
I got the 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. shift, so wasn't
You do the
wasn't
s
that great.
you do the short straw, dang it.
Yeah, it was okay though. There was no one on the road. It wasn't bad.
well, don't let him fool you. At
Mhm.
the time, he wanted it because he thought it'd be really cool to drive with no one on the road.
It
But then
was.
after it was happening, he was like, "No, this is absolutely terrible."
Well, the issue was I couldn't sleep before that, so I was just awake the whole time. That
Oh.
was that was why it wasn't the best. But I would definitely do it again. It was definitely worth it.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. The having the freedom of being able to leave whenever we wanted. That was the part that was my favorite. We weren't
Mhm.
hauling butt to get to an airport. We were making our way around Disney Springs, going getting lunch, and then we were like, okay, we should probably leave now so we can make it home.
Oh, absolutely. Having your own vehicle there just gives you so much more flexibility from
Mhm.
can be somewhat stressful vacation from people coming out of town and this reservation and the dining and the hotels and the plane and this. So that it does very much help. But oh my gosh, like, well, I know you kind of hinted a little bit about your magical moment. Do you have one or two stories today?
We have 2, but we were both at both of them. So it's probably
Okay.
gonna end up a little bit of both of us talking about both.
The one
Wonderful.
is the one is just as good, but it's not quite as long of a story. The other one that we hinted at is a lot more involved and a lot more to tell in that one.
Yes.
So
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love having two people and two perspectives. But do you want to give us just a little hint of each of the stories? I know you already kind of did, but give us a little teaser.
Ooh, so for my teaser, I would say that we got a very special backstage experience that was just
Ooh.
gifted to us because we're obnoxious.
Ah.
I mean, I guess you could say that for both of them.
Yeah, I guess so. Huh.
Two
Oh,
special backstage experiences.
Gifted for being kind of obnoxious. Extra?
hey,
Obnoxious might not
The
be the
second
right
one wasn't
word.
obnoxious, really.
Excited?
you guys are very
Ourselves
exciting.
for just being who we are is really all it comes down
Yeah, I
to.
guess so.
Oh my goodness. I already love it and I love y'all's podcast and I've listened to it and I participated on the ride ranking episode that you guys did via your live and that was so fun and I remember you guys specifically talked about Rise of the Resistance and commented I'm like, "Yeah, my mom thought the ride was over at once we got to the stormtrooper part." And it was crazy. So crazy. But we'll get into some questions now and you guys can each take turns answering first. But the first question I always ask every single person is, why do you love Disney?
Go ahead.
After you, because I forgot to think about that one. After
Okay.
you.
Well, so I grew up going to Disney and Universal. Like my family went on trips all the time, so I had exposure to it. It wasn't really until we started dating that I really got into it a little bit more because Disney adults make Disney adults. That's that's how I feel, honestly. So I didn't really get super back into it until we started dating again, and honestly, it just became like a huge part of our relationship, and that's a lot of the reason that I like it so much.
Oh my god. And Gina, were you like 1000% Disney doll and you were like, come with me? And like it just kind of
Yeah.
So sort of. So I grew up, my family had gone to Disney a few times growing up. We were a bigger family, so it was like every few years or so we would go. And my best friend and I, we decided that when we turned 21, we were going to go drink around the world. Well, when we were
yes.
19, we started dating Rick and his best friend, and they got invited. And I was responsible for planning that whole trip. And that was what made me like planning that trip and doing all that research turned me into the Disney adult that I am today. And
Oh.
I did. I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the planning of it, the rush of it. And I have so many things I have in my life now because of it. I get to meet people like you. I get to make these connections. I did the Disney college program. I have friends all over the country because of it. And like, I don't know, in the least cheesy or I guess most cheesy way possible, Disney really has changed my life like for the better. It's pretty cool.
I love that. And I'm the same thing. We briefly chatted about like I did the college program as well. And did you get to the point of celebrating your 21st at Epcot?
I did. So because
Go.
they ended up coming with us, we ended up celebrating it a few months later because my birthday's in March and then my best friend was in May. So we had to wait until at least
Oh,
May. And then Rick's birthday
right.
was in June. And we were like, okay, well, if you're coming, we're going to wait until you're 21 as well so that we can all do
Oh.
this drink around the world, you know? And then we were like, but we're not going with June and July crowds. So we ended up going like the end of August, right before we went back to college. So no one believed us that we were celebrating our birthdays because all four of us had birthday buttons on. But that's actually what we were doing,
Uh-huh.
just a few months
Oh.
late.
And that was our
Oh my
driving trip.
Yeah, that was when we drove.
gotcha. Oh my goodness. And, did you make it all the way around the world is my follow-up question to that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we did. We ate and we drank. We split a lot of drinks.
Hmm.
But Brian, that's his best friend, he did literally a beer in every country. We were like, go you, that is like he
Woo.
crushed it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
split most of the drinks, but there were some countries that it was like, this is my drink, don't touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, this is too good to share.
Yeah, exactly. It
Definitely.
was like you get it thinking you're gonna share, and then you take a sip and you're like, you should probably go get back in line.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Did you have any, like, favorites that you just remember that you keep going back to till this day?
You?
I mean, the first thing that pops to my mind is the grapefruit beer in Germany. That's because I mean that's just one of my favorites in general, and that's the first time that I had it was that year. So.
The ice cream one. You go back for that.
Oh yeah, the ice cream martini. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, in
In
France.
France?
Yeah,
Yeah, oh,
that one's good
mm,
too.
this is a little naughty, but me and my college program friends, we would go to France and get the ice cream and bring our cupcake vodka and then pour it over the ice
Ooh,
cream and then eat the ice cream, and it was so good.
That
that
sounds
sounds
good.
amazing.
So good, and I
Cupcake.
wasn't of age at the time, but all of my friends were, and, rules are a little flexible, gotta say, don't encourage it, but, I'm glad you made it around the world, do here's the tough question, do you start in Mexico or do you end in Mexico?
Unpopular opinion, you end in Mexico.
Yep.
Ooh,
Which are you?
spicy
What team
take.
are you on?
Well, I am team on my 21st birthday, and I did drinking around the world. I started in Canada, which ended in Mexico. But if I were to do it now that I'm older and my tolerances wasn't as crazy as I was back when I was 21, I would definitely start in Mexico and very slowly and like you said, split drinks because that only
Mhm.
not only helps your liver, but also your bank account because
Oh,
drinking out
yeah.
all those countries is a
Yeah.
whole thing. Oh my gosh. So my tough question is, and Gina, you can go first for this, is not
Okay.
necessarily your favorite character, but what character do you most identify with that you are the most similar to?
Okay, so we actually asked a question similar to this on our podcast, which is why I had my answer ready to go, except we limit it to the princesses. So we make people pick a princess. So
Ooh.
mine, I'm gonna stick with my princess answer. Mine is Anna. I think I am very similar to her. We both act and speak and then think later and just fly by the seat of our pants through life and hope for the best, and I really think that that is how I how I live my life, and then you just kind of hope everything works out. So I would say I am probably closest to Anna.
Oh, I very much see that for you. And like, Anna's very much always looking for the positive in things, even when things go wrong. I already like see that for you.
Thank you.
I love it. And Rick, what about you? Your character that you are the most similar to?
He is
It's a tough
panicking.
one.
I'm panicking
He's
right now.
panicking right now.
I don't know. Um,
Panic
Gina,
from
do you have
inside of me.
anything being his fiance that you could pinpoint to help him out?
I'm trying to think. Huh. You honestly, this is gonna sound so cliche, and like I'm actually picturing Kristoff right now, but that's just
so
you
here's the
can't do
thing.
Kristoff if I do Anna. That's
Well,
just
here's the thing. I was picturing Kristoff maybe for a different reason because
Oh.
his best friend is a reindeer, and he's not a huge fan of people.
I know, that's why I was thinking Kristoff. And he's
Oh,
very like he's much more literal but also sarcastic, which is very much you.
Uh-huh.
Like you'll be sarcastic when you want, but also you like kind of he's more literal with life. Like, no,
Uh-huh.
that's not gonna work. We need to do it this way. Where Anna's like, no, let's just do it this way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like when they're trying to climb the mountain.
Yeah.
So I actually can really see you as Kristoff.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
thinking
it's not a
potential
bad one.
Halloween costume possibly
That's
for the
yeah,
teens.
maybe. You'd
You
have
already
to
have the
see.
facial hair, Rick, for those that are listening. You got the facial hair going on like Kristoff.
I like it. He'll dye his hair blonde. It'll be perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. Now, Gina, would you do on a coronation dress, traveler's outfit, Frozen 2 outfits? What would you do?
Oh, I don't think I would do Frozen 2 outfit. Maybe because that's a little lighter. So maybe just for the sake of
Mhm.
I'm going coronation dress. I like the kind of classic
Ooh,
Anna look.
heck yes. And you just put
Yeah.
like a little clip in your hair for that blonde streak that she has. Oh,
Mhm. Well, and
please
you know
update
what?
us and send us pictures when you
When
do
I
this.
watch Frozen 2, this is the most ridiculous thing. It makes me so mad that her braid that goes around her head, there's no actual way to do it to your hair because I love braiding my hair. So I just stare at the braid the whole time. The way that it's animated, it wraps perfectly around her head and has no start and no finish.
I am looking for it right now. I'm like, I need this. Oh, oh.
Yeah. Next time you watch Frozen 2, next time you watch Frozen 2, you're not going to be able to unsee it. There is no start and no finish. It just starts at the front and ends at the front. So that's why
Right,
I'm
and it's
going
not
Anna
even
from Frozen 1 because that would drive me crazy that my hair wasn't
y
exactly like hers.
Yes, oh my gosh, and I've seen, like, back in the day, like, cute YouTube tutorials of how to do Princess Anna's coronation hair and stuff,
Mhm.
and oh, you totally okay, when you guys go to, like, Mickey's Not So Scary and you guys do this or Oogie Boogie Bash in California, you need to send us pictures. Oh my gosh, it would be so, so cute.
We
W
did it
Um
last year as Max and Roxanne. That one was
That
good.
was a fun one.
Oh, I love that, and it's such, like, a simple costume, but it's so
Mhm.
recognizable if you've
Yeah.
seen the movie, you're like, "Oh, the colors and the spot on. Ooh, I love it."
Well, and we went so
Um
early in September that it was, like, perfect for the heat because it was
Yeah.
it was basically just shorts and a t-shirt. His was a
Mhm.
t-shirt and jeans, like,
Yeah.
so nice in that heat in, like, first week of September.
Mhm.
Perfect. My next question is if you could go on any retired Disney ride, whether you've already been on it or not as a kid or anything, what ride would it be?
Okay.
I would have to say the Great Movie Ride because I don't
Mm.
remember it. I don't know if I've been on it before because, like I said, I went with my family when I was younger, but I don't remember it at all. And I've heard so many things about it, and I would love to just be able to go on it and experience it.
I know now that it's retired, it's like, oh, too soon, too soon. It's still fresh. It's not fully transformed. You're not the first person to say Splash Mountain, but Great Movie Ride is such a good one. And I've had like deep conversations with people about they could have put Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway anywhere. But they
Mhm.
didn't have to take a pre-existing wonderful classic attraction.
Mhm.
So, I think, like, Mickey Minnie's is great, but let's go put it somewhere else, or use a different building?
Yeah.
I
And Gina,
agree.
what about you for your, retired ride?
I'm actually gonna go with the flying saucers that used to be in Disneyland that are like the big tubes that people that you would sit on and they'd like bump into each other. It's like a giant air hockey
Oh,
table.
yeah, in Tomorrowland.
Yes.
Oh, I remember seeing, like, vintage videos of it, like,
Mhm.
back in the day when Disney's doing, like, a history lesson or something. Oh my gosh, that would be so good. Oh, no
Yeah.
one's ever said that before. I like that one.
Yeah, we've done a few episodes that are like the history of Disney, different things in Disney, and it must have been a full Disneyland episode, or maybe it was a history of Tomorrowland. I'm not sure, but at some point we talked about that ride in depth. And I was like, I want to go on this. I wish it was still a thing.
Oh my gosh, and you'll have to tell us the episode so I can link it down for everybody to go listen to that one specifically if they wanted to. Oh
Thank
my goodness.
you.
And then my last and final question, what attraction would you be devastated if it got demolished during your lifetime? Updates and improvements are acceptable though.
Can we say Splash Mountain again?
Yes, if you'd like
Still
to.
getting over that one.
Go
Still
ahead. Go ahead.
fresh.
There you go.
I'm trying to think. So you go.
Okay. Um, it's gonna be another tease to one of our stories here, but for me, it would be Tower of Terror.
Mhm.
Um,
Ooh.
because of some of the memories that I have around it at this point, and also just because it's still my favorite ride in Disney. Well, it goes back and forth with Guardians now, but it's still consistently in my top two as far as favorite rides go. I really like the Twilight Zone, like the show, and that kind of brings it into it too. So there's a lot going on that I like with that one. So I'd be pretty upset about that.
Yeah, I
Definitely,
think I'm
and
going Tower of Terror as well, actually. I was trying not
gotcha.
to, but, like, the more I think about it, that one would,
Hmm.
I thought that I was a whiner about Splash Mountain, but I think that one would be like, "Ooh, yeah, that'd be
Right,
bad."
right. Have you guys been out to California and done Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout?
We have not. I do want to get out there. I will say I'm glad that they made a whole separate Guardians ride in Disney though, and didn't do that because honestly, as much as I like Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm like we're both big Marvel people, so we probably would have enjoyed the ride. But at the same time, I think I'd rather still have Tower of Terror.
Yeah, but I did hear that the one have you ridden it yet? The one in
Yes,
California? I heard it's
yes.
better than our Guardians ride.
Okay, so here's my little story. So right when I moved out to California, it was early 2017. So Tower of Terror was already down, closed for construction to flip it over to Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. I was so upset. I was like, "No, they can't take a classic." Like, and I wasn't as big of a Marvel fan as I am today, and I was like, "They can't do that. They can't do that." I went on opening day and I shut up. I was like, this is pretty cool. I like it. And the animation or the animatronics, the features, the effects, the Guardians, the music, it is very well done. And I quite enjoy that ride. And I think it's not necessarily, the ride systems are basically the same. I think the fact that Guardians is constantly moving, even when you're looking through the rooms and stuff, I'll say, it's a little more thrilling than just up down. It makes it feel like Tower of Terror is shorter, which I think why people think Guardians is a little better, but both great. I love the feeling for both. Don't touch either one. Like, leave Guardians the way it is. Leave at least one Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
Like, we can't have all of them gone.
Uh-huh.
I agree.
Can I
But
flip the
yes,
script here for a second and ask
of
who
course.
your favorite Marvel villain is?
Ooh.
Oh,
Just
I
out of
mean,
curiosity,
okay.
since you said you're a fan.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I just went to Avengers Campus for the first time
I'm
in,
so jealous. I
um,
want to go so bad.
February. So, maybe I could come on your show and talk about that, but,
Yeah.
oh, I just made my Marvel heart so happy, but my favorite villain, I don't really count Loki as a villain, neither do I count him as a hero. He is his own genre, but when it comes to Thanos, he's got a point. His way of going about it, though, is not the most ideal. I usually wear, the Pandora ring with the Infinity Stones on
Oh,
it, and
love
only
it.
if you're a Marvel fan, you'll recognize that it's the
Yeah.
Infinity Stones, but, like, so I'll say it to people like, "Oh, are you a Marvel fan?" They're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and I'm like, "Oh, look it!" And I'll show them, be like, "Oh, that's so cool because it's so subtle," you
Uh-huh.
know?
Mhm.
Little subtle Marvel. I love, love, love. And honestly, because of my audience knows this, but because of the character meet and greets at Disneyland and how good they were with, like Thor and Loki, Captain America, Spider-Man, Black Panther, they were so, so good. It made me go back and watch all of the movies because my interactions were so good. I'm like, I want to have better conversations with you. Let me learn more about your characters. Enjoyed the movies, watched them all. My homework was to be done before Infinity War came out. And so I watched all the hours and hours of Marvel and I did it and it was just so great. And then I went to Avengers Campus, which it was so amazing. You guys have to go out. If you guys are Marvel fans, like, you just have to go, and those shirts that say, "If lost, please return to Disneyland, please return to Disney World." I want to have a shirt that says, "Please return to Avengers Campus if lost." That's where I want to be at all times. So you guys have to go there.
I'm
Yeah,
convinced.
I want to so bad. I
'Cause
think
I'm
about
not
it
gonna
all the
lie to
time.
you. We have been told multiple times that we should, but the way that you just described how why we should go makes me want to get there.
Oh, it's so good, and I'll say the Stuntronic, the videos do not do it justice. Seeing it in person, you're like, "Look at that thing go!" And then just the constant character meet and greets, Pym's Test Kitchen, Doctor Strange, like, and I was very fortunate to go when Kang the Conqueror came out from the new Ant-Man movies, and so I chatted with him, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Kang. Ah, and the casting, whoever did that was so good. He was spot on, just like Jonathan Majors. Like he is so
Oh no, it was
handsome.
actually him. He actually was walking around Disneyland. That's what I heard.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past him. And then the night I left from my trip, Cassie Lang came out for the first time, and so I just
Oh,
missed
that's
her. But
awesome.
Oh, that's so
it was so
cool.
cute to have like bring your daughter to work day, and it was Ant-Man and his daughter
Oh, I love
coming in.
that.
It was so good. So you guys, like you guys need to go out. I want to like take you guys there right now. Like let's just go hop on a plane and go. We need to go to Avengers Campus.
Don't need any more
Oh,
convincing here.
Yeah, no, I'm convinced.
talk to your travel agents. Be like, listen, we got to go, preferably
Right
around a time a new Marvel TV show or movie comes out, because then most likely that character will come out. So
If we book it for
Loki
like
season 2.
no, I'm thinking we go full on last minute, throw it all on the credit card and don't look back. And we go when Guardians 3 comes out next month.
ooh.
This is why God made credit cards.
Is it?
Put it on the credit card. Don't look back. That should be like a hashtag.
That's gonna be on the back of the
That's
t-shirt.
the back of the t-shirt.
If bound return to Avengers Campus, just put it on the credit card and don't look back.
Don't look back. Oh my gosh. Small shops. Listen, we got brilliant ideas over here.
We're gonna see this for sale within a week. Just be ready.
Oh my gosh. Like literally we should do a group t-shirt and wear that instead of like family trip 2023 and put it on the credit card. Don't look back. Oh my goodness. Well, Rick and Gina, thank you so much for answering all those questions. I love that you guys are Marvel fans. I feel like we could do a whole episode on Marvel and everything Marvel.
Multiple.
But yes. But now I'll let you guys get into your most magical moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start with the small one, since that's going to be
Okay.
quick, and then we'll go into the bigger one, and we'll do that. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. So the first one, on our trip that we went down with our two best friends down for our 21st birthday celebration, we were in Animal Kingdom.
First day of the trip.
First day of the trip, we were in Animal Kingdom. And at the time, well, I think it's back now. It is back now. At the time, we decided we were going to go to the Festival of the Lion King, which I don't remember ever being at before. Were you there before that?
I don't believe that I was. Yes, I was. I'm sorry. I was there when I was 15.
Okay.
So it had been like 7 years since I had 7. It had been like 6 years since I had seen the show. But I was like, guys, I saw this show 6 years ago. It's so good. We need to go to it. It was a must do for us.
So we went to the show, and
Wait. You asked the part. Can I do this part?
yeah, go for
Thanks. So
Y'all are so cute. I love it.
so as we were walking into the show, actually, it was Rick and Brian were in the back, and me and Ellie were walking towards the front. And a cast member came up to us, and she stopped Ellie, and she was like, "Are you going to see Festival of the Lion King right now?" And Ellie goes, "Yeah, that's where we're on our way into right now." And she asked how many people were in the party. Ellie was like, "Oh, there's 4 of us." She said, "Cool, follow me." We didn't think twice. We weren't like, "Okay, where?" We literally were just like, "Yes, ma'am, we will go wherever you tell us." And she actually took us to the front row of Festival of the Lion King. So that was when we learned that anytime you're in that show, the way that the front row is picked is by cast members. It's something fun they get to do to make a little extra magic. The front row, so the 4 rows on each side that literally only fits like 4 people max. They get to go out in the crowd, and I guess they look for like a small party, and they get to bring them in and put them in the front row. So that we got picked for that to start, and that was like already a perfect start to the show.
And which section do you remember? I know there's a lion section, a warthog section, giraffe, and elephant section. Do
We
you
were in the
remember?
warthog.
Oh, I love it. You got to
Which
do the
brings
little
us
tusk that they
into-
make you do.
Which
Mhm.
brings us into the second part of this magical moment. You were chosen.
Brian.
Brian was chosen. I thought it was you.
No, it was Brian. I have the
No?
video still, yeah.
Was it? Our friend Brian was chosen to be the lead on it. So when they had to do the warthog noise and everything, he was the guy that they went to for that.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how well did he do with the snorting noises?
I'm going to give him a 10
Yeah.
because his confidence was through the roof.
he just went for
Ooh,
it.
we
He
love
did. He did. They said stand, he stood. She said make a warthog noise, and he He went for it. He didn't think twice. So I'm giving him a 10 for
Oh,
confidence.
I love the singer that's there. She always goes, "Oh, do you need a tissue?" Like, after they do the little
Yes.
snorting noise and stuff. I'm like, "Oh, adorable, adorable."
So we're sitting there, like we said earlier, we're just being ourselves. We're a high energy group when we're all together, especially when we're at Disney. So we're sitting there enjoying the show, we're singing, we're dancing in our seats, we're having a good time. And the show comes to an end. And we're about to get up and walk out, and a cast member comes up to us and she says, "Hey," basically the same thing. Come with me real quick. And we were like, okay.
And again, we didn't think twice because if someone in a Disney name tag says, "Come here," you listen. So we were like, okay, yes, ma'am. Are we in trouble or is this a good
Yeah, so
thing?
we had no idea.
Also, disclaimer for children listening, do not do this outside of Disney. Do not approach strangers and say, "Come with me."
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So we're like, okay, confused. We walk and she takes us backstage, basically. And she says, the cast noticed how much fun you guys were having during the show and how energetic you were, and they wanted to meet you. So she took us
Stop.
backstage and we got to meet the entire cast of the show, and we got to stand there. We got to talk to them for like, what was it, 15 minutes?
They gave us tips because we were like, yeah, tomorrow we're drinking around the world. It's all of our first times. We just turned 21. They were giving us tips on where to go for different drinks. Like, I remember talking to one of the stilt walkers, looking straight up at him, and him telling me, "Oh, you have to stop here in Japan and get this." And I was like, all right.
Oh my god, and I love that it wasn't a, "Hey, like, we wanna create a magical moment," like, they wanted to meet
Yeah.
y'all.
It was
That is
so,
so
Yeah.
cool,
it
and
was
and
very
when you say the
surreal.
cast
It
when
was,
you say
yeah.
the cast, was it, like, singers, the dancers, the birds that do the ballet aerial things, the fire guys, like, everybody
It
was
was
there?
it
The
was
monkeys.
It was an interesting mix. So
Yeah.
it wasn't quite everybody. I don't remember if any of the main four who do like they lead the crowds and stuff. I don't think any of them were there when I'm thinking
Okay,
about it.
okay.
Yeah, I
But
don't
it was
know.
a lot of the dancers, so the people who
Uh-huh.
are like kind of walking around, the stilt walkers, there was a few of them. I don't think there were any monkeys because they are my favorite part of the show and
Yeah.
I think I would remember them being there. But it was a really big group. I have a photo I can send to you, and it's like
Perfect.
it's a lot because then we were able to take a giant group
Yeah.
photo, and it's just the four of us with our little fanny packs on, like looking like straight tourists as we should. We were on vacation,
Yeah.
and all of these people in these amazing Festival of the Lion King costumes.
Oh my gosh, and so after you said 15, 20 minutes with them,
Mhm.
and you guys left, like, how was the rest of your day at Animal Kingdom? Like, was it, were you just, like, so in shock that that happened? Was that also what point of the day in your trip was that?
That was probably just like in the afternoon. And it was, like I said, it was the first official day. We had gotten there the day before.
Okay.
All we had done the day before was we went to the pool, went to Chef Mickey's, went to bed. So that was
Mhm.
like the way we started our park days was that. And it was like, it put us at a high and we did not
Yeah.
come down for the rest of the trip. It was great.
Yes. You're like, "That was great, we can go home."
Yeah.
It was a great start to the trip. Like she said, it was a high right from the get-go, and honestly that whole trip just felt like it kept getting better somehow.
Hmm.
Like, as good as that was, it was like every time we went to do something, like I think we had one other thing, like one other small thing happen to us, again, as far as like magical moments go. I can't remember what it was, but I think we had one more
There was like
while we were
little
there.
things throughout, but that was definitely the
Mm.
biggest one. Also, I found the photo. I just counted. There was about 12 of them, including us. I can
Send
put
it
it
to our
on the
Instagram.
screen
Send it
for
to our Instagram.
you.
Ooh,
And then, yeah, I'll send it
perfect.
to you as well.
Wow, they're so colorful and awesome and oh my
Oh, yeah. It was so
gosh.
cool.
That is
Such a
incredible.
surreal experience.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. And any other closing thoughts about that magical moment before we jump into your next one?
I don't think so.
No, I think that was the full gist of it. It was just a great show. We go back to that show every time we're in Animal Kingdom now because we can't not. First of all, because of that. Second of all, because it's just an amazing show. 10 out of 10.
I know you guys live out of state and you're not like local annual pass holders that go all the time, but do you recognize any of the dancers that you guys met that day, or
Yeah.
so much time goes in between?
No, there is one woman who I just looked at that picture, like, and I'm like, yes, I see her every time. She was wearing green that day, and I see her every single time. I'm sure she does not remember me, but every time I'm like, that was the same woman. So out of 12, seeing one still, I think that's pretty good to still
Yeah.
be able
Yeah.
to recognize her from what, 5 years later now,
Yeah, it's a
6 years
while.
later.
Whoa, that is so incredible. Oh my gosh. Makes me wanna go to Animal Kingdom and see that show all over again. It's such a good show with, the monkeys are fun in the beginning, then it gets all dark, and then it gets
Mhm.
all romantic, and then it's just a huge celebration at the end. Everybody needs to go see that show. If you haven't, it needs to be a must do at Animal Kingdom. Like, make a priority for that show for sure.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah, definitely.
maybe you'll get some backstage magic like you guys. But now the other magical moment, and I'm really excited about this one. I'm very, very excited. Not that your first one was wonderful, but this one's gonna be good, I can tell.
So we'll start this one off. I wish there was a way that you could see it from both of our perspectives the day that this magical moment happened. Because
Uh-huh.
what happened was Gina's running her first Disney half marathon with her best friend, and I don't even know where to go after that. It was a hectic day. So
It was a girls' trip. Was it a
no,
girls'
it
trip?
It was
wasn't.
no, it started out, I said, "I'm running the Princess Half Marathon." My friend Ellie said, "I'm doing it with you, let's go." So we put it out to everyone in our friend group and said, "Hey guys, whoever wants to come can come and run with us." No one ran with us, but everyone was like, "Cool, I'll go to Disney." So there ended up being, I think, about 8 of us, and only 2 of us ran.
It was all
Okay.
but like two of our friend group ended up going.
Yeah, it was
So
really good numbers.
you had a big cheer squad. Love it,
Yeah.
love it.
She's running her first half marathon, and me and our friend Vanessa and her sister decide we're going to meet them at the finish line. So the entire morning that they're running, we're on this amazing race style adventure to get from the entrance of Epcot to the entrance of Epcot so that we can see them finish this race.
They couldn't figure
Oh,
out how to get to the finish line. They tried to go see
Magic
us
Kingdom?
at Magic Kingdom. So
Uh-huh.
they tried to see us in more than one
Mm.
spot and ended up just ended up just completely missing almost everything
Yeah.
and running around. They ended up
Oh, no.
doing my sister's watch said that they did 5 miles that day running around Walt Disney property trying to get from A to B.
We took an Uber, we took the train, we took the boat, and we took the Skyliner. We took four modes of transportation to try to get from the one spot that we started at to Magic Kingdom, which we couldn't get to because the roads were all closed, and then back to
Right.
Epcot, which we also couldn't get to because the roads were closed now. So
You're
eventually,
just
we
like,
ended
"Slow
up
down, I can't get to you."
pretty much. So mile 12 for them rolls around, and we finally made it to one of the points in Epcot where we could see them. And we called them and we're like, hey, we're at mile 12. Where are you at? They're like, we just passed mile 12.
12.2.
Okay.
Oh,
So
no, and for those that
now
don't
we
know,
got
a
to,
half marathon is 13.1, right?
Yes.
yeah.
13.1?
Yep.
13.1, so you're cutting it really close with just a
So
little
it
over
took
than a
us as
mile
long
left.
to get to this point as it took them to run 12 miles. So so
Oh my
we find our
gosh.
way to the very end of the race and we like just make it to the end of the race to see them, which was awesome. So after the race, we're doing a park day. We're going to Hollywood Studios with all of our friends. It's going to be a good time. She's exhausted from running a half marathon. I'm exhausted from running 5 miles around various Disney parks and transportation modes.
Literally.
And
Did
um,
can I just interrupt real quick?
yeah,
Gina, did you get like a nap, a shower, food? Like, did you get a proper rest? You just went shower straight to the parks.
Yeah, no, I didn't even shower. So after the run, their car ended up being parked at Hollywood Studios in the
Uh-huh.
morning. So that's where we were going for our park day. So we went to the car and just changed our clothes And that's actually pretty funny. So if you haven't figured out what happens at the end of this story yet, we get engaged. My sister, my
Shocker.
best friend, they all knew what was going to be happening. And they were trying to like clean me up, basically. They were like, here's some wipes. Maybe take your hair out of the braids. Put these shorts on. Maybe take off the Crocs. Like, just all of these things. And I, at the car, was like, all I want is tater tots. I'm wearing these Crocs. I just ran a half marathon. I'm switching to my Crocs. I was still sweaty and gross, so my hair was in pigtail braids at the time, and I was like, I'm not changing this either. Like, but I was like, fine,
Right.
I'll put on mascara. So I think that's the extent that I listened to them as far as cleaning myself up. I wouldn't even put on the shorts that they wanted me. They had like a nicer pair of shorts, but the pair
Mhm.
I wanted to wear were nice and breezy. And I had ran a half marathon, and I was like, I want to wear the breezy shorts. So I
Yes,
was
you're thinking
fighting them
comfort,
hardcore.
relaxation, cool.
Exactly. Yeah. And I knew that we had a full park day ahead of us after already doing 13 miles. So I was like, this is what I want, and this is what I'm doing.
And then tater tots.
Then tater tots. We went right back. We go into the park. Actually, Rick went in ahead of us while we were at the car. He said he had to go to the bathroom. Come to find out later, he did have to go to the bathroom, but he also was afraid that the ring would make security go off. He didn't know what would happen, and he didn't want his bag getting opened while I was there. So he went in before us.
Mhm.
That is very smart and a very big concern because I was a photographer for a friend's engagement and I knew it was going to happen. And so I was like, let's go ahead. And if he gets stopped, he gets stopped. But like,
Mhm.
not that I said that out loud, but she was totally surprised. But yeah, that is a big concern. And people don't think about when planning a Disney or a theme park proposal that, a ring could set it off kind of thing. So, whew,
Or even
good, smart
anything your dad
thinking.
can set it off,
Yeah,
and they have to
and then they
take
have to open
everything
it.
out. So imagine
Oh,
in that bin, I just see a ring box coming out. Like, I thought it was a good move looking back. Definitely a good move
very,
because
very smart.
I'm like
Pro tip.
hyper observant of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I would have been like, I would have tried to play it dumb, but
Yeah,
like
you
in
would've.
my brain all day, I would have been like, there's a ring, there's a ring, there's a ring, there's a ring.
And maybe you wouldn't have been
That's a good
so
idea.
stubborn to head over towards Tower of Terror.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You can keep going with the story.
I'm not gonna tell. I'm
Or
not
so
gonna say.
stubborn to put on more clothes or like get
Yeah.
fancier clothes.
So, our three of our other friends were at Uga's Cantina. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Uga's Cantina. They went in much earlier, and they were at the bar. So we went and met them, and then we went to Toy Story Land. We rode Toy Story Mania first, and I said, "Hey guys, why don't we go ride Tower of Terror? Because that's our favorite ride." And I figured it would be good. So we start walking over, and this one decides to look at wait times on her phone. And she's like, guys, Mickey and Minnie's is like 20 minutes shorter than Tower of Terror right now. Let's go there, and then we'll go over to Tower of Terror. Me, I've been awake for like 8 hours now thinking about the fact that I'm proposing today. And I'm like, I just want to get this done. Like, I'm so nervous right now. Like, I need this to happen so that we can just enjoy the rest of the day. So
Such a Kristoff trying to propose and stressing out.
Literally, right?
literally,
He is Kristoff.
literally.
He's
So
Kristoff lost in the wood. I can't sing, but like he's just like, no, we need to go this way.
So eventually, against Gina's will, we drag her over to Tower of Terror, and she's not happy.
Do you want this part from my perspective?
Yes, let's
'Cause
get
this
your
is good
perspective
from
on
my
this
Yes,
part.
yes,
perspective.
yes.
My perspective is none of my friends in Disney are leaders. Not a single one. The entire day before at Universal, it was like I would say, hey guys, here are options. And then they would pick, but no one would go out of their way to say, this is what I want. So now, all of a sudden, after days of me saying, how about this? All of a sudden, no one's listening to me. So I was like,
what
okay.
the heck, guys?
So then I was like, all right, how about this? Me thinking that they're just like not listening to me. I go, let's take a vote. I go, Mickey and Minnie's is 30 minutes. Tower of Terror, one side was broken on it. So Tower of Terror was like 90 minutes. I go, how about we take a vote, guys? What does everyone want to do? Everyone
You're like, this
raises
is
their-
obvious.
Yeah, I'm like, this, obviously the answer is Mickey and Minnie's. Every single person raises their hand for Tower of Terror except our friend Brian. And then our friend Phil hits him under, like, behind people. I found this out later. And then Brian goes, oh, and shoots his hand up. So every single person picks Tower of Terror. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Which
You guys
Tower of Terror is
you're like, "These guys are idiots." Like, I planned
Yeah.
this whole maybe they didn't trust your delusion, because you just ran 13.1 miles. Maybe they didn't trust you that day.
Had to
I
be.
guess so. And like, I was like, are you kidding me? Okay, let's do this. Whatever. And Tower of Terror is like one of my favorite rides, but I was like, we'll do it later when they fix the other elevator. Why are we trying to go on it
Right.
now? And then we walk over, and one of our friends sees the PhotoPass photographer. And you know how, for anyone who hasn't been there, they line up down the road. So from the walk from the center of the park to Tower of Terror, as soon as you can see it,
There's
you
like
might
3 of
see 3 or 4 PhotoPass photographers, each one getting closer to Tower of Terror. And the closest photo is always the best. They know how to get the angle, they cut the people out of it. Always the best.
Mhm.
So she gets in line at the first PhotoPass photographer she sees, and she goes, gee, get in line. We're taking a photo. I was like, and at this point, I'm just so annoyed. I was like, I'm not stopping there. And she was like, we want to take a group photo. I'm like, okay, well, the better photo is up here. I'm not stopping there. And she goes, okay, well, you go up and see if the best photo's up there. I'll wait here just in case. I was like, you can wait. I'm not coming back to this spot. And I swear, I'm not like a nasty person, but at that point, I was just like, it was like all said, like, I was stern. I'll use that word. I wasn't mean. I was just like, I was stubborn. Yeah. I was just like,
You're
I
just
don't
like, "This doesn't
understand.
make sense."
Nothing that's happening right now is making sense to me. Why are we going to the longest line? Why are we waiting in the farthest back PhotoPass? Like, what is happening? So it ended up happening right where I guess I secretly wanted it to happen because they walked up to the first PhotoPass with me.
Ah, there you go, there you go. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I've been in those situations where people are like there's an obvious choice, but you still wanna be accommodating, and you'd be like, "What do you
Mhm.
think we should do?" And they're
Yeah.
like, "Let's do the not obvious choice," and it's like, "Wrong answer. Try again." Like
Maybe try again. I was so glad I had Brian on my side, and then his hand shot up. It was like,
It was really funny. But again, I was super nervous.
he was
So
not laughing
I
in
was
the
not
moment.
laughing in the moment. I was stressed out to a whole new level.
Yeah.
So anyway, we take
Aw.
our group picture, and then everybody kind of breaks away. Propose. She says yes, thankfully. Nerves all gone.
Do you
And
remember what you said?
I literally just said, Gina, will you marry me? Like, that was it. I had all this stuff planned out because I had 8 hours to figure it out. I had a whole speech I was going to say. And then I got to the moment and it just was nothing. And so it was super basic. There's
It
nothing super romantic as far as what I said. But
I think it's so cute when you see guys are like, "I had this whole thing planned out," and then then it's just, "Will you marry me?" is the
that's
only thing that
exactly what
comes
it was. And I was like, just get the
Oh.
words out. Just get the words out. So yeah, she said yes. Our friends are incredibly obnoxious, so they started cheering super loud, which in turn triggered the rest of the Sunset Boulevard
all of Sunset Boulevard.
to begin cheering, which was cool. We don't remember any of it. We blacked out.
It was silence for me. We
Yeah.
watched the video back, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we got all of Sunset Boulevard's attention." But in my brain, it was like only the two of us were there, and
Yeah.
it was silent. I
It's like-
heard nothing.
It's like in the movies when everything around them just blurs and it's like a mumble
Mhm.
kind of thing. Like that's what it felt like for me anyway.
Yeah,
Like
I'd say so.
I didn't notice anything that was going on around us until I don't know when I just like snapped back into it and everybody was clapping and I was like, what's going on? And
Yeah.
everybody was like
Oh,
jumping
back
on
to
us.
Oh yeah, we got engaged.
Oh my
So-
goodness, and the ring fit and everything, you already got, the
Yeah, I
size
had a ring size and
the
everything, so we were good to go.
Good.
Fits now. That day I was swollen from running in the heat. And it's so funny
Oh,
because
yeah.
the pictures of it,
So funny.
my finger, like it looks like we were gonna need to get it cut off because my finger, it went right on, and then it was like my finger like engulfed it. It was so swollen, and I was
Right.
like,
'Cause
oh,
you're trying to stay hydrated and water and everything,
Uh-huh.
so oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. Okay, so
Yeah.
another pro tip, maybe wait the next day after a run.
So
Oh my gosh.
So then we get to our magical moment.
Yeah. Sorry,
Well-
this was all the lead up.
This
That
was the
wasn't
lead
even
up to
it?
the magical moment.
Oh,
So-
I thought that was it. I was
No,
like,
no.
so
No,
cool.
no.
I just
Oh,
felt like the backstory was necessary. So we are like, we're at Tower of Terror. We could go back to Runaway Railway and ride a shorter ride, but we're like, we're already here, so why not? So we walk up to the Tower of Terror line, and a cast member comes up to us, and he goes, "What did he say to us? I don't even remember."
He goes, "What just happened? What was all that commotion?" And I, being myself, go, "I just got engaged!" And I'm like shoving my ring in this poor man's face because I was so excited. And he looks at me and he looks me up and down. And he goes, "Congratulations! Do you want a private tour of the lobby?"
Stop.
I was like, "Is there more than one answer to that question? Of course I want a private tour of the lobby."
Oh my gosh. And it's y'all's favorite ride.
Yeah.
And you guys love coming to Disney. Oh my gosh.
So he took us in, our whole group. He took us into the lobby.
Yeah, he took all 8 of
and
us.
we basically got like a 30-minute history lesson of the Tower of Terror. All the artifacts and like the props and everything that are in there, where they're from, like how Disney gets all that stuff, which was super cool to hear about. Because what was he saying? Like as far as where they get some of that
A
stuff,
lot of
like-
it is like antiqued. They go out to different antique shops and find it. They pay like basically whatever they need to, but
Yeah.
but some things they pay like so much money for, and some things they get for like 10 cents because
Yeah.
it just looks like what they are looking for.
Right.
And then
right.
he also gave us the kind of the storyline, because every corner that you look in that lobby has
Yeah.
its own story going on if you actually look
Right.
long enough. So he gave us a few of the mini stories that are happening that like you get the gist of, but when you can actually really look at the details, like
Mhm.
down to the
Right.
newspapers, like he was giving us these stories. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Can
So
I just say something? So
Yeah.
I did Disney College Program and I got to do the backstage tour of Tower of Terror, and you're so right. There, every little nook and
Mhm.
cranny has a story. And the one that I remember, because my college program was 10 years ago, and tell me if you guys heard this or can reconfirm this, but there was one window where there's like a little table where as if a husband and wife were there, and you see lipstick print on the glass, and her napkin is neatly placed on the table, whereas his is just kind of thrown there kind of thing. And walking by, rushing by, you wouldn't even notice it, but like getting up close and seeing it, like, whoa, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys remember that story? Or
Yep.
Yeah,
like
and it's set up to look like they were celebrating something as well, which is why the champagne bottle is next to them.
Mhm.
Oh, just like you guys, you're so sweet. You're like, this is ours, thank you.
Like they literally let us sit on the couches.
Yeah.
I
It
I was like
awesome.
I was like, "Wait, can I sit here?" And he was like, "Go for it." And I was like, "Okay."
Just like, can I get married here? Like, how can we arrange
Right?
this? Who do we need to talk
What if
to?
we could?
Yeah,
Um,
and that was like a totally made by the cast member magic moment, a made by fate magic moment on the way in. So at the morning during the half marathon, Ellie and I decided, we were like, we'll stop for characters when we want to. We don't have to. Who is one character though that we can't question? If we see them, we have to stop, no matter what, if the other person wants to stop or not. And mine was Max Goof, and we actually didn't see him the whole time. He was up on the balcony right after we got engaged as we were walking into the lobby. So we got to stop and take a picture with Max Goof, and it was like just right place, right time. Everything just fell
Oh.
into place. It was insane.
Yeah, it was crazy.
and this is during normal park hours, so people are riding the ride and going through and
Mhm.
seeing you guys there, and you're just like, oh, hello, welcome
Yeah.
to the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Like, we're
Yeah, pretty
checking
much.
in.
And we got
Yeah.
to skip the whole line. We got to go right to the pre-show thing.
Yeah. He put us
So-
right into the library. When we got into the library, actually funny that you say that, because the people in there were like, "Excuse me, if you don't mind me asking, how did you get that?" And then again, I was like, "I just got engaged." And it was like these older women who were like, "Let me see the ring." And we're so nice. So then we were talking about it in there. Like, it was just great people the whole way
Mm.
through, from beginning to end, of
Oh.
the engagement.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. I love that story so much. And you guys can, when you get married, and tell your kids about this, and
Mhm.
one day they'll be tall enough to go ride Tower of Terror and be like, Mommy and Daddy got engaged here. Like, how cute would that be? Oh my gosh.
I mean, the rest of the day was just celebrating, so
Yeah, we were on a high all
yeah.
day. We literally closed the park and then went to Jelly Rolls and didn't get back until like I was up almost 24 hours by the end of the
It
day.
was a long
My
day.
watch said that we did 26 miles by the end of the day. So I could have
Woo.
done a full marathon.
Seriously, you're like, I did the first half running, the second half, just walking casually around the parks.
Walking casually in Crocs.
Did you guys get the celebrating buttons or the just
Yeah, we
engage
did.
buttons?
Yes, as
Good,
soon
good,
as we
good.
got off Tower of Terror, we went to the in the gift shop and we asked them if we could have the buttons. She didn't fully understand what had happened and what we wanted them for, so then we got them rewritten later. I don't remember what she wrote, but it was an engagement. It
No,
was yeah, I don't remember,
I don't
but
remember.
Like
yeah.
happily ever after or something.
Yeah,
Or
it was something like that. And then later we got someone fixed it and wrote just engaged on it.
oh, that's so sweet. A pro tip: if you are near a Christmas shop, like in downtown Disney or the little Christmas shop at Magic Kingdom, there's the calligraphers there that do the ornaments.
Ooh.
If you take your button to them, they can do your names or beautiful or just engaged. So, pro tip next time. Not next
Love
time you get
that.
engaged, but when you're celebrating your engagement or celebrating your marriage and everything.
Good to know.
Yes,
Oh,
very
oh my
good. Thank
gosh.
you.
Well, thank you both for sharing that story. Oh my goodness, it was so good. And I thought like just the engagement part was the magical moment, but the whole backstage tour of Tower of Terror and like that is incredible. And where can people find all of y'all's adventures and follow along?
So we have the podcast, obviously, that is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and then our Instagram is at Spill the D Podcast. We have a TikTok. I'm not great at using it, but that's at Spill the D Pod. Definitely more active on the Instagram. And then if anyone just wanted to email us, talk a little bit, we're spillthedpod@gmail.com.
Yes, and all of those links will be in the show notes to make it super easier for you guys to find. But Rick and Gina, thank you so much for coming on the show. It truly means the world to me. And I thank you for sharing both of those magical moments.
Thank you for having us. This was such a great
Yeah, it
experience.
was really fun. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was.
Yay. Y'all's first podcast that you guys haven't
Yes.
been on.
And we
I
can't wait
love
to have you on ours.